All right, you're welcome to class 3, Flutter beginner. All right, so we're going to continue from where we stopped last time. I remember we're actually dealing with integers, and I said something about integers are whole numbers without a decimal point. And then I gave examples. I stated examples saying that this is an integer, and then you have a double, right? So the difference between, you can see the difference is very clear. So there's really not much to go in there to say or to do, but just take note of that. All right, so so next thing we're going to be doing is introduction to operators. Okay, so operators are symbols that perform operations used for modifying or manipulating data. Manipulating data is an essential part of any programming language, and that is no different, providing a rich set of operators for its basic types. Now, these are the types of operators. We have arithmetic operators, where you have your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. Equality and relational operators, type test operators, assignment operators, logical operators, bitwise, and shift operators. All right, so let's see. Go into details, telling you about operators, and then do hands-on experience. Yes. Okay. So I'll just quickly go into, let's say, of course, lists of operators. We have the addition, the subtraction, like I made mention earlier, and you're already like familiar with mathematics. So these are basic operations you do. All right. So let me switch to my VS Code, and then, all right. So now for just the case, like, let me create a file. When you open your VS Code, of course, you meet an empty. All right. So you come here. This is where you have your Explorer. So on here, I'm going to click this. This is a file. This creates a file. Why this creates a folder? This refreshes your Explorer. Okay. So I just come here and let's say I do operator dot. This dot is an extension. All right. So this tells you that, okay, you want to actually program in that language. Yes. For some other programs, they actually, maybe let's say JSX is for React. Okay. So you can even see the logo here. Yes. But we're not doing that right now. So that's, and you see the logo and click enter. It creates a file for you. All right. So now do not forget the main entry point. So you have main. All right. Yes. All right. So this is your main entry point. So let's do let's say var. Let's say add. I'm going to just go add. That's a variable. I declare a variable, and then let's say 10. Assign 10, and then let's do var. Let's say add. Let me give this 2. Give this 1 to 7. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll do print add 1. Okay, that's addition. it has subtraction. Okay, so when I click on run, well, let's start with addition first. Let's see what happens. You get 17. So that's 10 plus 7, 17. So what did I do? I just declared variable. Remember, I already told you about variable. All right. So I declared the variable 1, add 1, and declared variable 2, and assigned 10 to add 1, assigned 7 to add 2. Now, this is where the addition comes in place, this plus this. Now, take note that dealing with numbers and strings are two different things. Yes, we're dealing with number. If we're to use or apply strings like we did earlier in last class, you won't be having addition of numbers, but rather you will having joining of strings together to make a line of statement. Okay, so please take note of the difference. Now we're dealing with operators. So if you have this and this, it gives you that. Now let's do subtraction and see what happens. Let's see the result. We have 3. Now, if you notice here, we're applying, what do you call it now? It was something I made mention about, where the program runs in an order from this line to this line. Okay, so addition first before subtraction. Then the more we have other operators, this for multiplication. Then you have division. All right, so these symbols, these are arithmetical symbols. They are operators. Okay, so if you run this, let's run all these at once. So you have 17, 3, then 10 times 7, you have 70. Then 10 divided by 7, you have 1.4. Yes, 82 decimal places. Okay, so that's it for arithmetic operators. Okay, then there's something we call prefix and postfix. So that also supports this. All right, and prefix and postfix increment and their increment and decrement operators, meaning increasing and decreasing operators. You have something like this. Prefix, increment, and then you have postfix. All right. So this is what it looks like. Print plus plus add 1. Okay. So this is what you have, this prefix increment. We actually have a list of those. We have this, and then you also have this postfix. All right, so this increases the value, this decreases the value. Now let's say, let's do an example. Let's say we have prefix let's say it's 5, and then let's say print okay, so we have that. Let's comment these ones, this one. All right, let's run our code. You see, it increased 5 to 6. That's what you have here. So if we do same for postfix with prefix and then negative operators, you have 4. All right, so that's it about prefix and postfix. So let's move on to other operators. Let's see. Now we're gonna go on to relational operators. Relational operators. So we're already dealing with practicals now but definitely just with basic understanding. So relational operators are operators that perform operations that compare operands of numeric types. Let's say, for example, less than and greater than. Okay, these are relational operators. Less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, and things like that. So let me just list out examples of relational operators. So we have this we have this we have this. Okay, so let me do this in an orderly way. So I'm sure we're already familiar with these operators. Okay, so these are relational operators. Equal to. Now, normally in maths, you use one single equal sign, but when it comes to programming, you're using double equal sign. Now, this is the difference between this. There's a difference between this and this. This is used for assigning values, all right, to a variable. This is used as equal sign, like this plus this is equal to this. So it's different from this one. This is called assign. It's for assigning values. Why this one is for carrying out operations, calculations, okay? Then this one stands for, it means it checks if the values of the two operands are not equal, okay? That is
Hello.
not equal. Okay. Do you have a question?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good
So I
morning.
have a question. You did something like val prefix equals to 5. I just wanted to ask, must it be prefix or we can use another word apart from prefix?
You can use any other word. I talked about
Uh,
variable. Did you participate in the first or in this previous class we had?
yeah, I watched the recording.
Okay, you watched it. Okay, beautiful. So this is a variable.
Uh,
It's not fixed. All right, it's not fixed. So you can change it. You can put any other thing there. Just name it. All right. Okay. So here you have greater than, you have less than. This is greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So for this one, it checks if the value of the left operand is greater than the value of the right operand. Okay, so and so. Why for this greater than or equal to? This one checks if the value of the left operand is greater than or equal to the value of the right operand. Okay, so this will come in very handy. Yeah, because of course you're going to be maybe giving tax in regards to this. So please take note. let's have now let's go back to this. Let's use this. Let's say I'm just going to copy this and bring this down here, uncomment it, and then I'm going to be using these variables, okay, and I'm going to be doing this. This and all right. So earlier on we did addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so right now we're going to be doing relational operators. So if we run this, let's see the outcomes. And let me clear this off. Now let's see the results. Okay, now notice something. It's giving result true, false, false, true. Now there's something called booleans. All right, booleans are, let me say, it's just a true or false outcome. All right, a true or false outcome. That's the only thing you just need to know about booleans. That bool type represents boolean values. Only two objects have type bool, true and false. Okay, true and false. That's just the only thing about booleans. Okay, so now in this case of operators, add one, add two, add one is greater than add two. Is that true or false? It's true. Yes, because 10 is greater than 7. Is add one less than add two? Print add one less than add two. Now, is 10 less than 7? No. That's why we're having false. Okay, then we have, is add 1 less than or equal to add 2? Is 10 less than or equal to 7? False. No, that's not true. Then is add 1 is 10 greater than or equal to 7? We have true. Yes. Okay, you can also have it done interchangeably. Let's say um, add 2. Okay, we also have this one too. We have this. This time around, I want to change, let's say, and then let's have this. Okay, let's comment this and then run again. So, is 10 equal to 7? No, that gives you false. Then 7 is not equal to 10. True. But if you had, like, let's say 10 here, let's change this to 10 and run. Is 10 equals to 10? True, yes. 10 is not equals to 10. That's false. Then you have is 10 less than 10, you have false. So these are just true or false outcomes. That's the result. So basically, you are looking at printing the variable, but the outcome is looking at the assigned values, these values here. That's why you're getting this outcome here. Okay, you print these variables, but what the program is running is the value assigned to this variable, because this variable is storing 10. Okay, so I hope that's clear and straightforward. All right, so let's move on to the next operators. Let's see. I'm just going to be giving you basics. Just basics. So, of course, you can do your research after this. I'm just giving you basic. There are a lot more operators when it comes to these signs, less than, equal to. There's also the percentage, just like you have in a calculator. So same applies in programming. All right. So you can go do study on that. So I want to see how we can really cover a lot. Okay. So let's do something. Let me give an example. I'm going to, all right. Let's see. Let me hide these ones. Okay. Let's do an example. Let's say now we're going to be dealing with assignment operators. Okay. Assignment operators, you have equal to, you have negative sign before equal to, you have forward slash equal to, and so on and so forth. But let me just do an example of this. We already have our variables declared. So let's say print. Now I'm going to be using strings. Okay, so let's say before a compound assignment operand, and then this way. Okay. Equal okay, let me change this. Okay. I'm going to explain all of this, all right? So let's look at this and let's run. Okay, so what really happened here? Before reassigning the variable a, its value was 10. Now, after using the compound assignment operator plus equal to, after using this, the assignment operator, this actually is equivalent to, let me put it here. Okay, AI is already doing the job for me. All right, so A is equals to A plus B. This is what this means. This plus equal sign. It means A is equals to A plus B. So that's why you're having 17. Okay. If you have minus this, let's say, what we're going to have is A is equal to A minus B. All right. So it's not like you don't really have to write this in full. No, just this takes care of the calculation. All right. So let's run and see. Before using the compound assignment operand, it was equal to 10. Now, after using a compound assignment operand, we get 3. After using this, we now get 10 minus 7, which is equals to 3. So these are going to come in play when you're building applications, especially when you're programming mathematical operations, okay, in that. So it's going to come in handy a lot. So these are just basics you need to know. Of course, there are a lot more of them, but I'm just giving you like what it's most important, like constantly used in programming language when it comes to building mobile apps. Okay, so now there's what we have, there's what we call logical operators. Yes, logical operators. So let's comment this and let's go over to logical. Logical operators, we have things like this, we have this, then we have this. Okay, so now the difference between all of this is that this first one reverses the logical state of its operand. It reverses the logical state of its operand. Now, if a condition is true, then the logical not operator will make it false if any of the two operands is not false. This one is called the not operator, not like this. Okay? Logical not. Then you have logical and then you have logical or. So this is not operator, this is the and operator and or. So if, like I said, if a condition is true, then this logical not operator, okay, you're going to be using this a lot. Yes, there are times you're going to have maybe some errors, and it will just prompt you to say the solution will be to just add this not. Okay, all right. So anyway, we'll get to that in its application, but just get to understand it. So if it's true, it makes it false. That's what you need to know. Okay, it reverses the logical state of its operand. Now for this one, what it does is that if both operands are not false, then the result is true. For this one, operands are not false, then the result is true. If A and B are not false, then the result is true. Okay, we're going to do examples on that, but just understand this. Then for the logical OR, if any of the two operands is not false, then the result is true. If any of the two operands is not false, then the result is true. So this one, you can also call it unary operator. Unary, unary, it's okay. Unary operator. It takes one operand. Okay. Then so on and so forth. So let's see. I'm going to bring this up. Let's say it's not true. Then you have false. If it's not false, then it's true. It reverses the operand. Take note. If it's not true, then it's false. If it's not false, then it's true. That's what this implies. Now, let's move on to others. Let's say we have true and true, true and false. If it's true and true, then it's true. Then it's false. If, let's say, if, I think a better example would be if you have 10,000 naira in your account and you want to withdraw 5,000 naira from the money in your account. Now, if the logic being carried out is such that it checks your account and it sees that you have 10,000 and the money you want to withdraw is 5,000. So that means it's possible that, yes, you can get 5,000 naira from the 10,000. So it results to true. If you have 10,000 naira in your account and you want to withdraw 500K, you see that, yes, there's money in your account, but the amount you want to withdraw does not apply because it does not tally with the amount of money you have in your account. Then it's impossible to get that money out. I hope that explains this logic here. So that's why it's called logical operators. It requires you to be logical about what you're doing. This applies in calculations, in banks, okay? If even in authentication, if your email is the same thing, as your password, if your email is correct and your password is correct, then you get successfully logged into your account. But if your email is correct and your password is not correct, then you don't get access. That's very simple and clear. All right, that's for logic. Now let's go to the third one. You have true or true, and then you have true or false. Okay, so this one is almost like this one, but there's a difference. The difference is in true or false. If it's true, even if the second condition does not meet it, but as long as one of the condition is true, then the outcome is true. Okay. Yeah, so it's taking either condition. Now this one is taking both conditions. Both conditions must be true. If one is not true, then it results to false. But this one only needs one condition. It's either this is true or this is true. But even though one is true and the other is not true, it will still consider it and take it as true. Okay, so these are logical operators. You need to just be familiar with these basics. So I've given example of this. All right, so let's apply this with let's say I'm going to declare a variable. Let's say var a. Since we already have a declared earlier, I'm going to just let's leave this here. Come here. It's equals to true, and then it's equals to false. Now let's do bar expression. Just going to make it short. This is logical and okay. So all right, now we have print. Let's go with this. Let's go with print. We're going to have this b, and then let's have print true. Okay. Yes, we have this. Okay, although we can have everything the same. So anyway, we're still going to do that. Okay. Going to have this and this. Okay. So let's comment this first and this. All right. So let's run code and see. Okay, let's leave this. Now let's run and see the results. Okay. Print is not equals to A. All right. Now A is true. What does it do? It reverses it. It becomes false. Now we have declared B as false. We've assigned B as false. Okay, so what do we get? When we say print not equals to B, it reverses it and changes it to true. Okay, so then we have, of course, let's say print true and the expression print true and the expression. This expression now, it's A and B. Okay, so what do we get? False. Why? Because this is true and this is not true. Why? Because A is true, B is false. Let me comment this and let's have the result, because I want to really ensure you understand this properly. It's false. Why is it false? Remember, I already said that for a logical AND expression, if this operand on the left is true and on the right is true, then you get true. If the right operand is true and the right operand is false, then you get false. Now look at it. A is true, B is false. You get false, but here is true. So this expression is bringing in this one into this argument here. Okay, you have A and B. Now, if you look at A here is true, B here is false. So it brings it into this expression. That's why it's declared here. Now you now have true for the left operand and then false for the left operand because A and B is false. All right, so that's why you're getting false here. Now let's say, assuming we have true here and run, you get true. Why? Because we now have true and true. Because A is true, B is true. So when you print true and true, you get true. I hope this is very clear. So let's comment this and let's get this. What am I having? Okay, this is a dead code. Let's say rather than this, let's put no, it will actually work. True or this. Let's see. Let me change this to false. The key thing. Just hold on. Okay, this is actually expecting true or false. No. Because it can be reached. Why is it saying it can be reached? Because if you have it here, okay. Let's do it this way. Okay, let's do this. We have false or this. Let's run this code and see. We'll resolve why that is getting a dead code. We get false. Okay, so this is false, and then A and B. Now, A and B. If you have A and B, is false. Okay, A and B is false for this expression, and we have false. So false or false is still false. It's not true. You can go around this, but what is most important is you're able to understand these logical operators, all of this. So what do we have next? Okay, I think that's the basic you need to know right now. Let's move on to, let's see, what do we have on our slide next? Functions and methods. Okay. So introduction to functions and methods. Now, in computer programming, a function or a method is a block of code that performs a specific task. The block of code is given a name, much like a variable. The function is called using this name whenever that specific task needs to be performed. This removes the need to type the same code over and over again. All you have to do is call the function's name. Now, how do they work? Like mathematical functions, programming functions takes an input known as an argument, perform some operations on that input, and then return the resulting output. It's almost like a conveyor belt in a factory with items entering the machine from one end of the conveyor belt and coming out. Just like you have processed foods. All right. So a container or a tin can is placed on a conveyor belt. Then it has machines to seal the contents of that tin. It could be tomato paste or puree, could be uh, grinded stuffs, all right? So, or maybe drinks like Coca-Cola. So it's entering the machine from one end of the conveyor belt and coming out completely modified. Even when it comes to stickers or branding, yes, it just goes through a machine. It prints the name of the brand on that item, all right? And then it comes out completely modified on the other hand. So, however, as the machine remains the same throughout its life, it will modify every item that enters it the same way. Okay, so let's see. Mm, 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 mm. Just hold on, give me a moment. Let's move over to our studio code. I'm going to, okay, this time around, let's create, let's say, functions. That. Now let's say we have void new print. Okay, and then okay, let's do this. And then here we have main. Okay. Okay. Please just hold on. All right. Okay. Okay, so this is 10:58. All right. So we're going to be wrapping this class up right now. But I believe that you understood so far what we discussed about operators. Okay. So let me stop the recording.